Hello and welcome to What Keeps You Awake.tv. It's time again to dive into the hustles, the hurdles, and the highs that keep small business leaders up at night. I'm your host, David Hooser, and again, excited to have Ramsey on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Ramsey, as we mentioned, has his coaching, training, well-being business, Bergeron Well-Being. And we mentioned in the last episode the book that you've recently published. Show us your book.
Yeah, Cake on the Floor. How to handle life's unexpected moments with resilience and grace.
And so tell us the story behind, the philosophy, the mindset, and of course, the name of the book.
Sure. Well, I was at a wedding about 15 years ago when the bride went to cut the cake, but the venue didn't lock the legs of her cake table out all the way. So she goes to cut it, and the cake falls all over the floor, and the bride started laughing. And then everyone in the room started laughing, and it became a memorable part of the night.
Right.
And I thought, what a fantastic...
Versus what I probably would have done is broken out into tears.
Yeah, freak out. And why is that? Why do most of us, whenever I start even telling that story, everyone kind of makes an oh gosh face. But that's not how she handled it. And that really is such an incredible metaphor for life, how it's not the things that happen to us, it's how we choose to respond if we're able to create space between reality and the story we tell ourselves around it.
Right.
That's what allows you to really create a legacy that's worth leaving.
Okay. And we could probably both pull from our journeys and stories like that, left and right, that really describe or define who we are as individuals and how we will be as leaders, taking the journey that many of our audience are about to, or in the early stages of taking now.
I agree. And so to that point, even back when I was a personal trainer, I would tell people everyone hits the wall. It's what you do when you get there that defines you.
Right.
If things start to get tough, if a weight starts to feel heavy, you set it down, you're not going to gain any strength from that. If you start to get winded and you don't push through, you're not going to gain any cardiovascular benefit from that. It's those obstacles, it's those things that happen in your life that provide you the opportunity for the growing lesson if you're not aiming for perfectionism. So it's how do you view the things that happen instead of the story you're telling yourself of why it's bad.
So you were early days, you mentioned a DJ. Mm-hmm. So what were some of the events that you were participating in or joining or leading in that case?
Oh, I mean, gosh, I've done over 800 weddings.
So
a lot of corporate events. I've DJ'd for Playboy, DJ'd with Paul Oakenfold, Vanilla Ice. So, I mean, starting from 1999, it's been quite a lot of experience, but just getting up. And this comes back to any entrepreneur. It's the 10,000 hour rule. Like I got started not realizing I would be where I am today. I just wanted to it was a fun job DJing college parties and high school dances back when I was 18. And I didn't realize where it was going to take me. And
any good stories around those? Everyone in the audience is dying to know. The wedding singer, pops into our mind.
I have a good story or two. I think I would. I'm still friends with a lot of the brides. I got to be careful what I share on the air. It's just like life. There's so many things that happen to us, and a lot more of my stories of resilience come from more of my athletic background.
Okay,
that really shaped my perspective on things where, I've had my first back surgery at 19 years old. I had 3 ruptured discs in my back. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't walk. And then I had my second.
It was from an accident? From
football.
From football.
Yeah, ruptured my back playing football. And then my second back surgery at 26 years old. So if you have one back surgery, there's an exponentially higher risk of having another one. So then I started doing Ironman triathlons in my late 20s, early 30s. And while training for 2, I had 2 Ironmans, one in New Zealand and one in Whistler, 6 months apart. Okay. And I overtrained and herniated those same discs in my back.
Wow.
And I'd already bought my plane tickets. I was excited to go to New Zealand. I'd never been before. I wanted to see all the Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm kind of a giant nerd also. And the doctor said, well, you can't run. Right. If you run, you're going to have another back surgery. So you're not doing this. And for a while, I was pretty devastated. At the time, I was a paid spokesperson for EAS Sports Nutrition. They were sponsoring me to do these events. And for about a month, I lapsed into a depression. This isn't what I want. I can't believe this is happening. And then walking around my neighborhood, I saw a guy getting out of the pool, had to have been in his 70s or 80s. And I thought, wow, he's still out there swimming. I wonder what he's got going on. And then it made me think I can probably still swim. And then another light bulb went off. I can probably still bike ride also. And so I called my doctor and I said, I can walk, right? And I can swim and bike. He said, yeah. I said, all right, well, I'm gonna go start the Ironman. And if I have to drop out, I'll drop out.
Swimming first?
Swims first. It's a swim, bike, then run, or swim, bike, walk.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. And so I went and I managed to finish both of them, walking every step of both of those marathons.
That's great.
But I could have sat back and said, well, I can't do it. We're so quick to see the first sign of resistance, meaning that this isn't for me, or this is a great excuse to not pursue this. But we don't focus on, well, what can I do? What is within my control? What can I still do to move the needle? Even if it's not what I wanted, what's the takeaway here?
Right. I did that with mountain biking. I started mountain biking, I told you, in Arizona. I used to do a lot of triathlon events when I moved here from the Midwest.
Okay.
And would do a lot of lake-based triathlons. And my first triathlon, I almost drowned because I had no idea how brutal everyone was when they take to the water.
Oh yeah,
and here I am,
mass starts,
trying to be nice and respectful. It's like, that shit doesn't work. You got to just go. And then I ended up 4th overall.
Nice.
And that was in my I was in my mid-30s at that time. So it turned out inspirational. Yeah. But I thought I'm not going to make this. This is crazy. And then it kind of kicked in. Well, I'm not going to stop now. And why should their feet be kicking my head? Why isn't mine kicking theirs? Yeah. If it's going to happen. So it kind of, you lock in and go. So those stories, same in business.
Same in business. It's locking in and going. And also, like you're talking about, I like to also set kind of a stretch goal. So I have a system I developed called BFG goals, which doesn't stand for what you think it does. It's beginner, fantastic, and then gigantic. Okay. So I have 4 different areas of my life that I do this for me personally, and then I help my one-on-one clients with this. Like, what's a beginner goal? What's a fantastic goal? And then what's a gigantic goal? Something that you don't think is even possible. Right. So 2 years ago, I sat back and I said, all right, well, I kind of laid this plan out. And then for my fantastic goal, I thought, I'm going to swim around Key West, 12 and a half miles in the ocean. And at first, I'm like, oh my God, this is impossible. The furthest I've ever swam in an Ironman is 2.4 miles. So I set a goal that I thought was...
What's Key West?
Key West, it was 12.5 miles around it.
Okay, all right.
And I signed up for it. I started training for it.
Oh, that was an event.
That was an event. They have a swim. So they have a swim they put on every year.
Okay.
And I looked at the logistics of it. I would have to have somebody bike around the so kayak next to me. So my friend who lives in Orlando, he said, I'll do that for you. And I started training swimming here in Arizona. We don't have a lot of oceans.
Not a lot.
So I would go to the pool. Someday. I would go to the pool and for 3.5 hours swim without stopping. Just set my food up on the side of the pool and just start swimming. Okay. And then I flew my friend and I to Kona. I said we have to practice this in the real ocean to practice the handoffs because I can't hold on to the kayak. I can't wear a wetsuit. I can't touch bottom.
You can't.
No, it's very, very regimented with the rules for that. So we went out there to practice. We went to Kona. The Ironman course is buoyed year-round just to practice. And then I managed to finish it in 8 hours and 45 minutes, June, I guess it was 2 years ago now. But I never thought that I could do it. And if we're only aiming for what's comfortable, we'll never achieve the extraordinary.
That's right.
So what are you aiming for? Are you playing it safe? If the worst thing that happened, I mean, people say, well, you could have been eaten by a shark. We always have these fears of what could go wrong.
Right. That's right.
But what's the worst realistic fears? I drop out. I quit. My friend, I hold on to the kayak. He goes to shore and I'm done. What's the harm in trying? And especially as an entrepreneur, if the worst thing that happens is you go back to doing what you were doing before, why the hell not try? Why not see what you can do to make a difference?
To learn if it's a possibility, not that it becomes your core, but it could be a possible, direction you take. And those are the exact words. I mean, you don't want to stop yourself. Yeah. We hold ourselves back from, as you say, greatness of doing things that, and if it was easy, there would be a lot of entrepreneurs. Everyone wake up in the morning and do exactly what you're doing. So you're already by definition not, settling. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're taking risk. You're the last one that gets paid.
But
So
I think there's a risk in any job. It's
Ex-
like there's a
sure.
risk that the company could go under that I work for,
Sure.
and then I'm not going to get a paycheck. There's no guarantees. You're not going to work 50 years and
Right.
get the gold watch anymore.
Right.
So I would rather be in charge of my own destiny and my own legacy, knowing that if I can't pay the bills, it's because of me, not because of something else going on.
Right.
So it's a matter of, I don't know if I could ever go back to working a regular 9 to 5. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I know for me, it came down to my values. What do I want to do? And then being able to find a job that I felt helped change the world. Do you know what ikigai is, the Japanese concept of ikigai?
I don't.
It's 4 overlapping quadrants that make a Venn diagram. And
Okay.
one is what you're good at. Another is what you can get paid for. Another is what the world needs. And then the fourth one is, man, I just forgot it. What you're good at, what you can get paid for, what the world needs. And I can't remember the fourth one, but it's in the book. But it's these 4 things. And when they overlap, ikigai is essentially your purpose.
Yeah. Okay.
Your purpose in life. So find what you want to do, what the world needs, what you can get paid for, and follow that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. And, again, that was one of the things we talked about was defining those situations through, anecdotal stories of, because you and I have done it. I've built, an online test platform for kids wanting to go to college. So SAT, ACT test into an international online secondary education program with 30,000 students.
Yeah. Wow,
so
nice.
and worked in cultures that I couldn't speak the language.
Yeah.
But I didn't let that stop me. I didn't understand. I mean, you try to, take yourself outside of your own thoughts and put yourself into your partner's thoughts or your students' thoughts or your parents' thoughts, and what would they want from you, and push yourself to achieve what you think they will want or what they tell you they want.
Now, whenever you first started that, though, is that what you saw to be the end game?
Not at all. Not at all.
Exactly. So kind of where did you think it was going to go when you first started?
And a lot of times, because we at first we were just taking and building test prep system that would maybe make us some money, maybe have some impact on on individuals out there, but eventually it just became so much fun.
Yeah.
And we were doing things that we had no thoughts that we would be going down that direction. Then I got invited, like with you were talking about how you got the call from MSN. I got a call from China, and they said, "Hey, we're looking at expanding our programs. Would you be interested?" And I jumped on a plane and never been to China before. And so it's those things you just don't. You don't always know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, why, or if it's going to happen. But when it does, you got to be of the mindset to take the chance.
I love that. I call it structured flexibility for me. Like, I kind of know where I want to go, but let's see where this journey takes us. And I love the fact that you use the word fun. Man, I love what I do every day. I love the fact that it could be different, but the work that I'm doing really kind of motivates me to keep going. So I would encourage you. And there are days where it can be challenging. So I'm not saying it's always going to be easy, but having fun and looking at it like a triathlon event. Like I do one every year still on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I was there back in April. And I'm like, I get to do this.
Right.
And viewing our business, like I get to run my own company. I get to help people. It's so different than I need to or I have to. It's such a forceful mindset when we back ourselves into that corner of what we need to do or what we must do.
Right. And there are things that that come your way, like we just talked about. One of the things that's interesting for me, when we launched our online school, it was our high school program we launched first. Uh-huh. And we got calls from mothers, fathers wanting their son or daughter to homeschool, but needing a structure, a system around it. Kids that wouldn't go to school because they were bullied and needed an alternative learning environment or approach. And so we get those calls. Our administrative team, our student services team would get it. and make the call. And about every fifth or sixth call is a high school program. It was an adult needing a high school credential so they could go to college, but they were 22, 25, 26.
Yeah.
And it turned out they had, we had a good program for them, but they had other issues. I could give them the program if they were low income and trying to change the world for their, their family. But the obstacles we found that were keeping people from going back to school were beyond the education system itself, the system itself. It was, not having internet access back in that day. It was not having a computer at home, or needing remote tutoring because you got 3 kids sitting in their bedroom sleeping while you're trying to go to school, and everyone else has gone to bed as well or off work, because it's a 9-to-5 world we lived in. So and then when those students would finish our program, which wasn't their goal, their goal was to get our program so they could get funding at, university level or community college level programs. And then watching them walk that program. Yeah. And then sending us the photo. But those things, you don't start down that path usually. It comes to you. And by being receptive and, helping to solve their problem, it's amazing the feeling you get as an entrepreneur, as an individual who makes a difference in someone else's life.
That's so true. And I think the key thing there was listening. Like you were listening to your customers, listening to your clients. And that's kind of what helped my business evolve. I would just go in to try to do coaching, and then they wanted me, hey, can you present to our company? Great. I followed that evolution. We wish you had more stuff that you could help us with after this. Yes, great. Just say yes, and let's build a parachute on the way down. Yes, I have these programs. Let's create those things for the people. Because I think that's what makes an entrepreneur successful, is listening to your people. Because if you want to sit on our high horse and say, look, I invented this or I made this, they'll bang the door down. Right. Well, but listen, how can I make this better? What do you need from me? Right. I think even as an entrepreneur, if you're managing a team, what do you need from me is one of the most powerful questions you can ask. Instead of just telling people, asking what you can do is really so beneficial.
Yeah, so cool. So true, so true. So any final words of wisdom for the audience out there? These are people like you back and leaving that corporate job that in the marketing space that you were in, saying, I'm going to be my own boss. What would you recommend to them?
I would say imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. You just got to start. Don't wait till you have all the answers, because you're never going to. It's a matter of just start. And that's the best piece of advice I can give you. So overwhelms, because sometimes it can feel overwhelming.
Sure.
Overwhelm isn't a matter of capacity. It's a matter of clarity. What's the one next right step? If the next step seems too big, it's too large of a step. Break it down. Break it down. And I help people also with time management. Like, just get real granular. What's the one next step you can take to move the needle on your business?
And as we say a lot, is perfect is the enemy of good.
Yeah.
If it's good, then maybe give it a try and then perfect it, or
done is better than perfect.
Later. That's right.
Yeah.
And then real quick, we haven't really touched on it. Maybe you have some inputs. What do you think the impacts of AI will be on small businesses?
I think if you don't learn how to develop AI and outsourcing, you're going to be left behind. Yeah. AI is such an incredible tool. I use it a lot. Now, it's still an evolving technology. I make sure to have guardrails on it. I make sure it pulls from my knowledge base of tools. But it's such a great time saver and it's not even just for content. For if you need help managing your schedule, help managing different things, it really will be the way of the future.
Interacting with your clients, making sure they always have an answer, not overdoing it, because a lot of people don't want to communicate constantly with an AI, agent or bot. Yeah. But allowing it to do things that otherwise wouldn't have been done, and then leaving, those engagements open and in the air. So,
well, especially, as a solopreneur, I've just recently started hiring my first team members. It helps you find your blind spots. Like, just asking it, what am I missing? What have I not considered in rolling out this course or in this offering that I'm putting together. So it's very helpful for that as well.
All right. Well, again, thank you, Ramsey, for joining us. One last time, how do people get a hold of you if they want to, find out more?
Find out more, head to BergeronWellbeing.com. You can also follow me on YouTube, find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, almost everything.
And you're based in Arizona?
Based in Scottsdale, but I travel a lot for work. I have clients from Hawaii to New Jersey, so across the country.
Wherever there's an event,
yes,
a triathlon, you will do a customer training or
it's a business trip that way.
Yeah. There you go. Combining. All right, and remember to like or follow us at whatkeepsyouawake.tv. Tell your friends to join a future episode, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks.